Good morning, everybody. My name is Sobu. Okay, today is Thursday, the 21st of March, 2024. I actually had to look at my notes for that one. That's how tired I am this morning. Thursday, the 21st. Happy Thursday, everybody. Today I'm drinking a black coffee. It's actually my second cup of coffee this morning. Needing a little bit of a kick up this morning, but honestly, it does the job. I hope you're well. I hope you're also drinking coffee or tea or whatever your poison is this morning. I just want to thank our executive producers and our sponsors this morning. This episode is sponsored by the subscribe button. Be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Also, be sure to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content. Huge shout out, like I said before, to our executive producers. If you want to sponsor an episode of Good Morning Everybody or become an executive producer, be sure to reach out to me at contactgoodmorningeverybody@gmail.com. That's in the description below. If you want to become an executive producer, be sure to join the Patreon and you'll see the executive producer role there. Thank you so much, and let's get right on into the show. Today, what I am thankful for. I want to share something I'm thankful for each morning, start the morning out right. Today I'm thankful for hard work. I woke up this morning a little bit more stressed than I normally do. I'm not sure why, couldn't tell you. Our bodies, our minds play weird tricks on us. And for as much as I couldn't tell you what the reason is, I sat down and started thinking through the things I needed to get done today. And I realized that for as much as there is a lot ahead, I would rather have work to do and there be things on my plate to do than the opposite. I've had the opposite before. There have been bad times. There have been low income times. There have been, pandemic times where all of us were at home and not really sure what was going on or what to do, and our lives were thrown off. I'm thankful for as much as, things are busy right now that I'm busy. I'm thankful that things are sort of back to normal. So I'm thankful for hard work today. I hope you are too. Whatever you have ahead of you, whatever your plate looks like, just know that it's always good to keep moving. It's always good to have things in front of you to do. So let me know what you're thankful for in the comments below. If it's something similar, feel free to drop that comment. If it's something completely different or even the exact opposite, feel free to let me know as well. The great thing is we have a lot of things to be thankful for. So be sure to be good to each other today and be good to yourself today. Moving on, we are going to talk about today's moment in history. Today in history, 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. begins the March from Selma to Montgomery. In the name of African American voting rights, 3,200 civil rights demonstrators in Alabama, led by MLK Jr., begin a historic march from Selma to Montgomery, the state's capital. Federalized Alabama National Guardsmen and FBI agents were on hand to provide safe passage for the march, which twice had been turned back by the Alabama State Police at Selma's Edmund Pettus Bridge. So today, 1965, that historic march by Martin Luther King Jr. and the 3,200 civil rights demonstrators. Big moment in history. Again, crazy to think about how recent that was. 1965, that was almost exactly 60 years ago. See, I can do that math this morning. Anyway, big moment in history. Thank you so much, Martin Luther King Jr. We are going to move on to the weather today. We're going to be taking a look at what precipitation looks like, what temperatures look like for our morning commuters. So it's looking pretty good actually today. So there are parts of the very northeast tip of the United States that are getting some big sways of rain and precipitation, sort of the main area. Also the northwest peak, it looks like, is also getting some rain. Parts of Texas, as well as coming down from Canada, it looks like we're getting some precipitation as well. In terms of temperatures, we still are a little bit cold this week. We were a little bit warmer that I think we were yesterday, but still I would recommend light jacket, maybe like a hoodie or something, just something to get you through to your office or your work site, whatever that looks like, whatever your commute looks like. Make sure you bundle up just a little bit, and then, if it heats up, you can always take it off. So again, be safe going out there today. Make sure you work hard today, but also just take care of yourselves too. Make sure that you bundle up just a little bit. We are going to be moving on to more news today. There's actually a lot that I want to cover. I'm going to be quick about it, but there are some things that I do want to talk about. The first thing I'm going to talk about is actually an update to a previous story we talked about. I believe it was yesterday we talked about the AI content policy with YouTube and how they sort of are proposing this new option that you can select when you're uploading content of any kind on YouTube to whether or not it includes AI generated content or if it has any sort of generative content whatsoever. And I'd commented yesterday in the video that we didn't really see that roll out quite yet, even though they said it was going to be rolling out first to mobile, then the desktop, and then the YouTube TV. I saw it for the first time today when I was preparing for this show. And so we're going to take a look and see what that looks like. This is actually what you'll see when you upload a YouTube video, especially if you're a creator and you're, the one producing content. So there's a new section here called altered content. Do you have any of the following describe your content? Makes a real person appear to say or do something they didn't say or do, alters footage of a real event or place, generates a realistic looking scene that didn't actually occur. Those are basically the three things we covered yesterday in the video. Now, of course, like I said before yesterday, when it comes to sort of production elements or scripting or captioning, just whatever that looks like, they're not really looking for that. It's mainly, again, a sort of infringing on people's rights sort of thing. Like if you're like a public figure and you're made to look or say a certain thing that you didn't do or say, then at that point, that's something they're looking for, especially if it is like editorialized or if it's like, like a funny meme or a bit, which again, I'm all for. I actually love this new sort of genre of AI content when it comes to I like seeing people say or do funny things that you wouldn't oftentimes see them say or do. But I also understand the scare behind it, especially on YouTube's end. I understand the fear behind what that could lead to, especially when it comes to the spread of misinformation. So this new little blurb in the sort of upload section when you're uploading a video, and you can choose yes or no. Of course, you have to self-report, but again, I think for as much as this is self-reporting and there's not really something on the back end as of yet, I think to like accurately flag things if they are sort of changed or altered. For as much as that is the case, I do think that just having something there is better than nothing. I mean, I think a lot of people will self-report and will be good about being like, yeah, there's some altered content in here. I'm going to select yes. At the end of the day, it is just a label that appears on your video. Having said that, it's so early. I don't know what this is going to do in terms of how videos are served to people. If it affects the algorithm, if it affects the places that these videos end up or how much they're seen by people. Not really sure as of yet. I think we'll just have to see as this unfolds, unfortunately, because again, it's just so early. So bear in mind that is rolled out now. That appeared on desktop for me today. So we'll see how that affects things going forward. However, moving on to more new news. Some of your favorite discount retailers might be on the hook for lead contamination. That may seem pretty sensational and that may seem pretty scary, but the unfortunate thing is that this is actually accurate. So TJ Maxx, popular discount retailers accused of a concerning problem. TJ Maxx and other retailers, especially, so there's a few retailers like TJ Maxx that are sort of owned by the same company. TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods are all owned by TJX Cause. And there's also Ross and Burlington, and they're all kind of in the same vein. They're all sort of like, they're like resellers of fashion content, and they're sort of like discount fashion hubs. Now, with the onset of the pandemic and how e-commerce has sort of taken the over most of the economy when it comes to people shopping, whether it's for clothes or for groceries, a lot of that stuff happens online now. Because of that, there are companies like TJ Maxx, Burlington, and Ross that are sort of seeing a big influx in business because sort of the more traditional retailers like a Macy's or like another fashion outlet, they're not really seeing as much traffic. They are having to turn over a lot of inventory that's just not sold. They send it to these other discount retailers and they're able to kind of get resold, again, at a discount, because again, these are sort of leftovers from like big inventories that just didn't get sold for one reason or another. So, there are these companies like TJ Maxx and like Ross and Burlington that are able to offer these discounts because they got this inventory at a discounted rate. They're able to resell it, still make a profit, and everybody's happy. However, because of that, due to the sheer volume of that, there is sort of a question as to whether or not the quality control is there in terms of, whether or not these products are safe. Have they been thoroughly tested? Because again, they're sort of streamlining all of these different sources from a bunch of different places to create a single inventory in one larger discount store. Because of that, there have been semi-recent claims, and I say semi-recent because this report has been sort of updated over the course of about a decade. It was sort of first started in 2009 it was first started, I believe. And then it sort of is being updated as we go along, and there are more inquiries being made. So it's been a long process, the information that we're going to share today, but it's sort of beginning to pick up some steam because of just how many inquiries have been made into these companies in terms of whether or not they have products that contain lead. So in March, the Center of Environmental Health released a report alleging that retailers including Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Nordstrom Rack may have sold fast fashion items containing shockingly high levels of lead. We're going to talk about what that looks like. We're actually going to pull up that report right now. So this is from the Center for Environmental Health. And of course, it's saying that this new report is showing that there are shockingly high levels of lead. Over the last decade, CEH has notified retailers Burlington, Marshalls, Nordstrom Rack, Ross, and TJ Maxx nearly 500 times that they were selling specific fashion accessories containing elevated levels of lead. Ross and Burlington accounted for over 300 of these notices. That's not great. So in 2022 alone, we're going to go over a couple key facts here. In 2022 alone, more than 25% of the fashion accessories purchased from Ross and Burlington had tested by the CEH contained elevated lead levels above 0.03 and up to 1.7%. Not great. Now, of course, lead exposure, really, really bad. It can lead to reproduction problems. It can lead to neurological problems. It can cause cancer. It's just not good. You want to generally avoid lead and putting lead in your body or having it near you. Obviously, this is sort of part and parcel to the sort of current economy of these discount retailers just having so much inventory and getting so much volume that, the CEH is sort of calling into question whether or not they're able to actually adequately quality control. Now, the CEH does go on to say that a lot of these products that they are flagging that have this higher concentration of lead will have Proposition 65 warnings on them, which again, Proposition 65 is that, that warning that you see on a lot of things that you're like, whatever, that doesn't have to do with me. It's a cancer and reproduction harm. And then it has a link there for Proposition 65 warnings. So there are, if you see a product that has that coming from these retailers, it's like maybe better safe than sorry. However, having said that though, this is still a unfolding story. Now, they do go into more detail in terms of specific products that they have tested that tend to have these higher lead concentrations. It says here that faux leather fashion accessories tend to contain more lead than like genuine leather fashion accessories. They're sort of a mixed bag there, obviously, but they're trying to kind of give you a little bit of a better idea of what tends to have more lead or what tends to have a higher concentration than other things. They talk about lead being found more frequently in like belts that sold as attachments to clothes, more than belts that were sold as standalone products. And then it goes on and on and on, of course. So read this report. It's going to be linked in. This report is going to be linked in the description below. Feel free to read it, give it a look yourself. Make sure you're fully informed. Obviously, this is a report done by an agency that is meant to find lead concentration in things. So with everything, grain of salt it, just be careful. We're going to see statements, I think, coming out from these larger retailers, a couple of which have already said basically the normal thing, which is to say that we do our best to avoid having lead in any of our products. And you can read that in the article as well. But feel free to read these sources and come to your own conclusions. If you have a different opinion, or if you want to start a conversation, or if you have a question, feel free to drop that in the comments below. Otherwise, just, be safe out there. And when you're shopping, just maybe read those labels a little bit more than you normally would. Because I'm guilty of that too. If I see a Proposition 65 warning, I'm basically just like, they have to put that in. It's a legal thing, but it might be more accurate than you think. Having said that, we are going to move on to some more happy news, some more fun news. This is a very quick story. It's just something that I found that I thought was really interesting, and especially for any of you collectors out there, there's a guy named Doug Woods. He lives in Toronto. He's an amazing human being. He has a Hot Wheels collection. He's been collecting for about 40 years. He started when he was 4 years old, and he really hasn't stopped since. His collection is about 25,000 items in total. 25,000 Hot Wheels. Imagine that. He has a lot of really rare Hot Wheels as well. If you want to get into it, you can read this article, watch the video. He talks about some of his favorite ones. He talks about some of his oldest ones, his most rare ones. But again, a 40-year span collection, and he's still going strong. And I love it too, because I just want to read a little bit of a tidbit at the end here. Woods says he's not interested in setting any records. He merely collects because he enjoys the cars and the community. That is the token of a good collector, is that he's not in it to be the best. He's not in it to have the largest collection or just, break any records whatsoever. He just does it because he loves it. And I think that's really wholesome. That's our happy, wholesome story of the day. And honestly, it brought a smile to my face this morning as I was researching that. So we are going to move on to the artist highlight of the day. And the artist highlight of the day is actually coming from a pretty well-known YouTuber. He's someone that I've been following for a while. If you haven't followed this YouTuber or you don't know who this person is, I'd recommend looking into their content. He's a really good creator. He's a wildly talented filmmaker. This is coming from Casey Neistat on YouTube. Now, he's well known for being a daily vlogger, especially in the 2014, 2015, 2016 sort of era of YouTube. So it's been a while since he's been daily vlogging, but again, he gained a lot of traction during that time because he was just uploading content every single day like a madman. The guy was uploading high quality, insane content daily, and he was doing that for, I think he did it for like 3 or 4 years or something like that. It's really crazy. Anyway, he's been uploading some bangers recently, just absolute gold. I really recommend watching his most recent content. There's a video that just dropped yesterday, actually, that I did get a chance to watch. It's very good. It's about some news in terms of Amazon streaming and what that looks like as it relates to the creators that are on Amazon streaming. Have a look at that. But the one I'm going to show you is just a few seconds from one of his newer videos, Sisyphus and the Impossible Dream. Just have a look at this. I'm going to show you about 30 seconds of it.
You're broke, totally broke. It's embarrassing, it hurts. But then, in that moment, you say to yourself, you're finally brave enough to ask her out. She was the love of my life. She just didn't know it yet.
Yeah, I know who you are, Casey, but who gave you my number?
Right then and there, you think, someday I'm gonna marry this girl.
And I'm gonna leave it there. Phenomenal video. I mean, it gets into a lot of sort of the credence and the merit behind chasing a dream and chasing what you're good at or what your aspirations are. Again, Casey Neistat on YouTube, he's a phenomenal creator. He is a very big creator, has 12 million subs. But again, if you haven't heard of him, or if you're not subbed to him, or if you've sort of heard of Casey, but you haven't really gotten into his content, watch that video. I think that video is phenomenal, and it's just a masterpiece on YouTube. So go and take a look at Casey Neistat on YouTube, our artist highlight of the day. We are going to move on to the Small Creator Club. We're going to talk about our featured creator. And today I have a gentleman by the name of John Pignetti. He is a small creator on YouTube. He only has about 500 subs, and he uploaded a video recently that I think is interesting. He talks a lot about weightlifting, about being healthy, about calorie count, and sort of how to appropriately diet while you're working out and trying to achieve a weight goal. He does a lot of sort of health-based content like that, and as you can tell, he is a bit of a bodybuilder himself. But let's watch the first like 30 seconds of this. I think you'll find it very interesting.
Whoa, what's up, guys? So before we get into everything, I want to break down some math for you real quick I was doing. If you miss one meal a week for a whole year, people think it's not a big deal, but you end up missing out on 26,000 calories. Now, what if you miss one meal a day for a year? You miss out on 182,500 calories. The human body, man, it works on calories. Building muscle, running your metabolism, making sure everything is healthy. you're missing out on all of those nutrients. 182,500 calories.
We're going to leave it right there. John Pignetti on YouTube. He is a great creator. He's been creating for a while now. He's been creating for about 6 months, and he's been uploading some pretty consistent, pretty high quality content. If you're into bodybuilding or working out at all, or if you're interested in dipping your toe into sort of that universe, I highly recommend looking at his channel. It's at John Pignetti on YouTube. Again, he only has about 500 subs. Let's get him to 1,000, man. I think he deserves it. He's making some great content. He's informing the public. He's trying to do good around his circle. And so, yeah, definitely check him out. John Pignetti on YouTube. Drop him a sub. Give him some love. He absolutely deserves it. So we are moving on now to the quote of the day. We're going to kind of round out our show with some good quotes, some good affirmations, and then we're going to send each other off, and we're going to have a great Thursday. So today's quote of the day is, "You exist only in what you do," and that's coming from Federico Fellini. Wonderful quote. I do think that there is something to that. I think that when it comes to our actions and our choices and our decisions, for as much as we may have the best intentions in doing something, or for as much as we may be like, oh, in my head, I wanted to do it this way, or I thought of this, or I was thinking or feeling that, at the end of the day, what people see are the decisions we make and sort of the ripples of those decisions. So when it comes to today, when it comes to Thursday, do your best to work hard, set yourself up, and also do good to the other people around you. Because at the end of the day, what's going to be left behind when you're gone, when you're no longer around, are the things that you did. That can be scary and that can feel pretty daunting. But instead of looking at it like a negative, like, oh man, I have so much work to do, or oh, I'm at the bottom of this hill and I have to climb it, look at it mainly as a encouragement to do good. You don't need to do huge swathes of good. You don't need to change the world. You can change your world by being good and being kind to the people around you. And that helps change their world. So with that, we're going to go into the affirmation for the day. You're over halfway done with the week. Just 2 more days of pushing through and the weekend will be here. Set yourself up for success by getting as much done as you can today. Thursdays can suck, but a busy Thursday makes for a nice bookended Friday. Above all, be gentle with yourself and others today. Your feelings matter, and they're the basis of how you treat the things around you. Everyone on the planet is dealing with the same day that you are. And so practice empathy today by doing one thing that makes someone else's day better. With that being said, we're going to conclude today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate your viewership. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to this type of content, I just want to say welcome. Thank you so much. We've gotten a good amount of views over the last week, and I'm just really excited for all the new people that may be watching this. If you are new to this channel, we love having you here. I just want to thank you for watching and for starting your day off with us today. That being said, I just want to thank our sponsors, executive producers, our producers, and all of our patrons. If you would like to see your name listed right here, please consider joining the Patreon. You'll get access to exclusive content, merchandise, and community found nowhere else. There's a Discord you can join. We're working on merch right now. Highly recommend joining the Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel, and it's a great community. If you have art or a channel that you want us to share with the world, if you want to be the artist of the day, the small creator of the day, please email your submissions to goodmorningsubmissions@gmail.com. You can see that listed right here with the Patreon. And if you want to become a sponsor of an episode or the show on the whole, please reach out to me at contactgoodmorningeverybody@gmail.com. We can start a conversation, take a look at what that would look like. Having said that, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great, wonderful, positive Thursday. I wish you well, and I'll see you on Friday. Take care. Peace out.